What's up, YouTube fans? What I wanted to talk about in this video, right, is an apologetics argument that you'll commonly encounter that I really consider to be gaslighting, right, where people will, like, basically they'll say, like, your disbelief in God isn't really about your mind, it's about your heart. And so you just haven't opened up your heart, and so it's all about your heart, and that you're angry at God or something like that. But it's like, when I didn't actually say anything that would give you a reason to think that, and you don't even know me, you're just assuming this about my experience. That's gaslighting, right? And it's like, it really isn't anything about like, oh, I'm angry at God or something. You know, if there were a God, I wouldn't be angry towards it. I wouldn't have any hard feelings against it. And there's no bad experience that led me to my viewpoint. You know, they'll oftentimes assume that it has to be about the problem of evil, and that I have to have some story of like, oh, my son was eaten by a pack of wolves, and it was at that moment that I decided that there could be no God. But it's like, no, there's no negative experience that just shook me up so much or whatever. I've actually had a pretty privileged life, really. Not that my life has been perfect, but you know, overall my life has probably been better than most people's. Not to gloat or anything, but I have had a pretty privileged life, really. So it's not like that there was some type of like negative experience that shook me up and led me to my viewpoint. And it's not a matter of like, oh, I'm angry at God or whatever. It's nothing to do with that. It's like, and more so than saying that I disbelieve in God, more so what I would say is that I think that there's many differing definitions of the word God. And so whether or not a God exists or is possible or plausible depends how we even define the term. And I also find the explanations that God believers give to differing things to not be very good explanations, right? Which if I've given reasons for that on other videos, I think that I have good reasons. I don't find their explanations to be very good explanations, right? Because if you're dealing with something supernatural that you can't at all explain how this thing itself works or why this thing itself exists, then, you know, it just you're not really actually giving me like a specific explanation. You're just trying to fill in any gap and say that like, oh, anything you don't understand is a God, but you're not really giving me like, you're not breaking down what is the mechanism, how did it happen, you know, just saying like, oh, there's this God that can snap his fingers and make anything happen, but it's like, how did he make it happen? If you can't explain that, then you're not really giving me an explanation. But it's not like anything of like, oh, I'm angry at God. Like, oh, it's nothing like that. I don't even believe in a God, like, but really more, I don't even think there's a universally accepted definition of what a God even is. So, I mean, and so when they're trying to say this thing about like, oh, it's about your heart, not your mind. And especially, so this person that was just saying this to me, I really said nothing whatsoever that would make them think that, and they were the one who brought it up, because I was just saying about abiogenesis, and I didn't even mention religion or God. I didn't even mention that, but they brought up like, oh, they were like, God makes more sense. And I was like, I was saying like, it's not really an explanation to just say like, oh, God said, let there be this and let there be that, and it just poofed into existence. That doesn't tell us how it happened. And instead of giving me an explanation to his viewpoint, he gave me this long speech about like, oh, it's not about your mind, it's about your heart, and you haven't opened your heart up to God. It's nothing about my heart. And he was like saying that he used to be an atheist, but it's like, if by your own admission you never really disbelieved in God, but you just like thought you were angry at God or something, then you never were an atheist, so you don't understand my perspective. And so it's just a really dumb gaslighting tactic when they say something like this. All right, that's all for now. See you guys.